Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. How are you? Thank you for coming to video 27. This is called Heaven Level 1. As we said yesterday, that we would begin this video, Heaven Level 1, because we discovered that heaven is already here, and we never saw the direct dominion, or we may have, but we didn't. We had no way of recognizing it because it was not publicly recognized. So we need to see the features and the process. We need to experience growing into heaven from wherever we were, which was a state where our mind was separated from the center of the spirit world, which is love and God. So now we will, through seeing and creating these videos, so that there is a record, so that there is a place anyone can go and see the progress of becoming see the process of a person in entering the direct dominion. The direct dominion is the place after the growth stage. Apparently Adam and Eve fell at the top of the growth stage when they were ready to make love, make a family, and complete the growth stage. So now, since they fell away, the mankind came to be ruled by the being, Lucifer, that prevented that. That's how the story goes. According to Thomas Williams, there are many other participants, even from other planets and so forth, and I'm not ruling that out at all. This is just a way of understanding how humans aren't the ones making an evil world. It is, according to Reverend Moon, and a story that I believe, and Christianity, to some extent, though Christianity is all mainstream religions have been used by the devil, I believe, by Lucifer. So, in order to find heaven, in order for all mankind to enter the direct dominion and not have Lucifer, the evil Satan, ruling mankind, then this is the answer is to find heaven and to dwell in heaven and to enter heaven, to see it, to enter it, and to dwell there. And according to the divine principle from Reverend Moon, once heaven is established, there is no way for humanity to go back or experience evil. It's impossible, because the whole universe, starting with all the physical things in the universe, and then with man, and then man's spirit, all things are designed by God to be completely fulfilled through love. So when people watch Reverend Moon, there are many people who spent hours and hours with Reverend Moon, because he made a point of speaking every day to as many people as he could, and listening to them also, and teaching people how to be a good object of God. And so, for people that have spent time with him, they have a special insight, and that the effects of Reverend Moon's living on Earth is all over, and anyone can have that special insight. They don't have to have seen and been in the physical presence of Reverend Moon, although they were living on the Earth. They're on Earth at the same moment. So we all receive that the benefits of a heavenly being on earth. So in order to shine light, in order to find heaven, in order to expand heaven, in order to create heaven, then it's not enough just to stop the evil. That's not the answer. The answer has to be that our original self finds its original home. So I've tried for many years researching the internet every day because I enjoy learning and discovering things that make sense. Like, why is there war? And why are there, I hear a siren, why are we broadcasting tragedy in the mainstream? What's the purpose of that? It wouldn't happen if there was no purpose. There is a being behind it, and that has a purpose. So learning more and more about who that is, what the purpose is, and at the same time practicing love and living for the sake of others. That's our mission. If there could be, I think Reverend Moon made it clear, if there is one mission we have as people, as children of our God of love, it is to live for the sake of others, to find those that need us most, and help everyone that we can reach, and try and reach the people that need help the most. So, what could you learn from me? The same thing I can learn from you. It only happens in a reciprocal relationship. If I thought that, anyway, only the same thing as I could learn from you is by exchanging. God knows who you are. I guess this is how talking happens. It's not random. We are all connected to God, and God has a path of relationship between all members of the family, God's family. Excuse me for it's because I'm not drinking distilled water. I'm having a little problem. It's nothing big. I'll make it. But I do hope and believe that I'll live. I'm only 65, so another 25 to 50 years. I'd love to live another 55 years. Make me at 121. We'll see. So what's today? That's it. What is our mission today? What does God have for us today to share and to hear, to speak and to hear? Because you are hearing and I am speaking, and God is directing our give and take more and more. In the direct dominion, we have a relationship with heaven. There must be something of me in me from God that understands the direct dominion, where Reverend Moon spoke from. It's a place of 100% confidence. Yeah, it's a place of 100% confidence because our life is based on our relationship to God, and God has no unconfidence. God is the infinite and absolute source of love. And in love there are no conflicts of being. Only happiness and gratitude and love. Desire to make others happy and comfortable and in love, and to follow the way to share God's love in a family. My slideshow stops working every 5 minutes or so, 5 or 10 minutes, because my version of Windows is not genuine. So God is genuine, 100%, and there are no, the presence of God in us confirms the genuineness of all things. All things are genuine eternally. Everything we think about, everything we do, everything we say, and everything we feel is 100% genuine and related to all things that everyone else that ever was, in past, present, and in the future, is feeling, doing, and saying, and thinking. That is the direct dominion. So we're getting closer. Video 27 is level 1. So God is really bringing on an education here through us sitting together and observing for the sake of God's family. That is why we're here. There is no other reason that we are even born, honestly, than to confirm God's plan and God's love in our family. And our family is mankind, is all humanity. So thank you. We can say, thank you, Heavenly Father. We're very lucky. We're very amazingly lucky. Looking in the past and in the future, we are very important. Our lives are extremely important. If we are one person, okay, 2 people, you and me, then we each have, in 31 generations, we can create more than 12 million people. 2 people in 30 generations, just by doubling, right? You've seen that example. It's amazing. It's like when you're kneading bread and you fold it over. If you fold it 30 times, that's over 12 million layers. That just sounds impossible. You do 12 times and you double it, or 30 times, and you fold it over 30 times, you'd have 60 layers, right? No, you have over 12 million layers. It seems almost impossible. But that's the simplicity of love. Love wants to multiply. This is a great video. Video 27, level 1. Heaven, level 1. I'm excited. So, the features of heaven are simplicity and infinite multiplication and 100% connection to God's love in our thoughts and actions and words, and our thoughts and actions and words. 100% relationship with our Creator. Who created goodness? God did. God created goodness. And who are we? We are the creations. We are the 100% pure creations of God. Matter of fact, no matter what we do in our life, we cannot disconnect from the fact that God designed 100% of us. Our mind can go backwards or up or backward, It can. We need our mind. By using our mind, we connect to, if our mind is a sphere and God is a sphere, then every connection, we start with maybe just 2, up and down and back and forth, side to side. And then there's 2 more, forward and backward. And then we are connected fully to God. That's level 1. From there, we have more original connections, but then all those connections start getting connections. Yeah. And it's a sphere, so it's constantly moving. And by listening to Divine Principle, there's a lot of things that seem mathematical and that True Father, that Reverend Moon spoke about. And so unificationists, people that listen to Reverend Moon and follow him and believe in him, believe what he says is true, and experience the truth, that through our spiritual mind and our physical reality becoming united, and practicing giving, living for the sake of others, then we confirm and we give our life to the truth. We live for the truth, and we live for the sake of others. So these connections, that's heaven. So how is the direct dominion established? It is established by having a source above us and below us, to each side of us and in front of us and back of us. And as True Fathers pointed out, it's a family. A family above us is God, below us is our children, to the right and left of us are our sisters and brothers that we're raised with, and forward and back are our ancestors and descendants. That is the reality of the direct dominion. So, and it moves. Another place Reverend Moon talked about, what I spoke of a couple of videos ago, I think, was our mind is always rotating. There's 360 degrees, let's say. It's a way to divide the circle and the sphere. So 360 one way, 360 all 3 ways, and then that's 1,080. It's 1,080 different degrees. But then each sphere, the sphere has an infinite number of points, of course, and relationships. So that's what makes love infinite. If the direct dominion is connecting our mind with the mind of heaven, with God, with love through God, with the love that God passed on to us, then, so that's the direct dominion. Level 1 is connecting, and connecting means living for, I think. So if we live for God, and automatically God is living for us, because that's how God created. That started before humans existed. So if we live for God, immediately God is we can take advantage of. That has 2 opposite meanings. The English language is not the best language. It's the only one I know. So we're going to start here. But recognizing the faults of a language, it can be changed. Yeah, we could improve this. And by connecting, by establishing the direct dominion, then it doesn't matter what history a language comes from, if as we fix it, then the history goes away because it didn't exist in reality in the first place. It's just a concept. It's an illusion. That's what Thomas Williams says. That evil is an illusion. It doesn't exist at all. It's something that we entertain as if it's real, and that creates. Anyway, I'll let him cover those things. It's not my place. The direct dominion, level 1, is to 7. This is video 27, and that's made up of the numbers 2, 7, and it sounds like heaven, to heaven. That's a good place to start our level 1 of the direct dominion. And we live for the sake of heaven. Our intent, our effort goes to heaven. So we, in order to have a connection up and down, our children and our parents, or God and our children, because all people have God as their parent. It's very convenient that God is the parent of all people. It's an immediate tap. It's like on tap. It's God on tap. One at 24/7. That's a nice phrase, 24/7. It leaves nothing out. It's absolute. 24/7 is absolutely everything. That's how important, that's how simple heaven is. That's one feature of heaven, 24/7. Heaven is 24/7. So Reverend Moon says that when we sleep, we don't, or in the spirit world, we don't sleep because, there's no physical body to tire out. So we're just busy loving all the time and expanding love. One time I was in a dream and I was walking in this place. It looked like a health club or something, but almost like an airport because it was busy. Yeah. And this is something, this is a Hongjin, the second son of true parents. Second son of true parents. He met with me, and then he said he wrote a book. I didn't know. I thought, well, maybe this is Jesus. But it was a young man. Of course, Jesus looks young in the spirit world too, I'm sure. But then I realized later it was Hongjin Moon. And we went through this. He took me, we were talking at a cafe, that outdoor cafe counter. We were sitting there together. He was on my left there. And he flew me to, this was after I read the book, Victory of Love, and which is really an amazing book. I want to read that more, because I still remember a number of things from that book, maybe 3 or 4 at least. And it was full of things that really resonated well in my heart. And so I dreamed of him, and we went through this square tunnel, and then we were at this, inside, we were walking up this ramp, but it was all inside. It was kind of like, anyway, it looked like a health club because everyone was dressed in white terry cloth robes. They weren't like silk or, the typical heavenly white robes that you think of. They were like just bathrobes, like a health club gives you to use while you're there. And or like a hotel gives you, I guess. Health clubs don't. That's at least the one, anyway. Sometimes they'll give you a t-shirt and shorts. But this was, anyway. So, and then I kind of I exchanged glances with a person that was walking up the hall as we came into this other hallway. And there's like they knew me. It was really a wonderful feeling. So, heaven, 27. Oh, and then Hurst Street, the address at Hurst Street is 2717. Another kind of a little numerical confirmation. I mean, not everyone pays any attention to numbers. like me, I definitely do. I'm one of those people. And then the place I actually met was a few blocks away, also in Berkeley, and it was Euclid, and it was 1727. And then I moved to Her Street, which was 2717. Or it was the other way around, anyway. So, stretch break. It's morning here. Oh my God, I didn't even have my shower. I'm supposed to take a cold shower when I wake up. I said my prayers. But look, God is blessing us. I feel hugely blessed. I'll take a shower afterwards if I need to. You know, I look at conditions as important. But since December of 2009, I started receiving things and I didn't make any conditions for it. I didn't make a condition with a time period and something I'd give up. Sacrifice. It's called an indemnity condition. That's from the divine principle. That's from the principle of restoration, which is the fall, chapter 2, chapter 3, right? Principle of restoration. I've forgotten. It's been so many years since I read it. Chapter 1 is the principle of creation. Chapter 2, the fall of man. Chapter 3 is the principle of restoration. Chapter 4 is Christology. Is there a chapter called Christology? I don't even know. And there are 16 chapters. What are they? It's all about restoration. That's right. The principle of creation, chapter 1, is really short. And the whole book, I think, is 247 pages. The Blue Divine Principle book. It's a soft paperback book. And it's not paper, actually. It's plastic, I think. It's called paperback. It's not a hardback book. Anyway, and then I know the last chapter is called the Completed Testament. Oh, the future. Tell me about the future. I could Google it. I better do. We'll get to it. Right now, we have everything we need to establish, to discover, and to confirm our presence in level 1 of the direct dominion. That's incredible. That's something. It's not incredible. It's not credible. It's very credible. It's most credible. There. See, we just corrected the English language. It's most credible. Because the most credible things are the true things. Everything's perfectly credible and absolute because everything is true that we live by. We are members of heaven. Heavenly, it's not a kingdom. I just have for some reason I'm averse, not adverse, averse, like a verse of a song. Or is it adverse? Maybe one's an adjective, one's a verb, I don't know. Anyway, for some reason I'm adverse to thinking about that heaven is a kingdom. I think that's something that Reverend Moon couldn't explain, because explaining that would make people immediately wonder, well, what about the kings that we are following right now, and the politicians we are supposed to think are kings? Thanks to Josie the Outlaw, or Josie Outlaw channel on YouTube, who says, who points out that the politicians, it used to be people were told that the kings and queens were God's representatives. So, but now we don't fall for that anymore. At least some of us don't. And the ones that do, they still believe that's the true path of life. All people always follow what they feel is the true path of life, or follow what they are given as the true path of life, and keep following until they know, until they have until they grow up enough to realize they have a choice. And some don't ever consider that a possibility, that they do have a choice, that somehow the beliefs that they learned before they could speak are somehow not necessarily perfect. Many have noticed that the world is not perfect, and that is a reflection of people's beliefs. So that is why this is so important, that all people find the direct dominion of heaven on earth inside us, because there is no conflict there, and so it is the fulfillment of all mankind's basic desires, and any desires that follow mankind's basic desires, which are to live in love and share God's love in a family, and be centered upon living for our Creator and our children, our brothers and sisters and families on either side of us, and our ancestors and our descendants. We live for them. We live in the interest of their benefit. That is what the direct dominion of heaven is. We are connected on all those 6 positions, forward, back, side to side, and up and down. God and our children, starting with God and our parents, who are represented by our parents in the physical realm, because our parents gave birth to us. But if our parents are not in the direct dominion, or we're not yet, everyone is heading there. That is our mission, to bring everyone into the direct dominion. And why? Is because God needs to be comforted and saved from his misery. God's family is tragically violated right now every day on this earth. Tragedy is occurring in so many places, and it's being hidden by the forces of evil, by Lucifer's team of evildoers who have been convinced that life is evil. Life is about hurting others, is about exploiting and deceiving and manipulating innocent people, God's children, and believing that Satan is God. This is the basis of the people that created the world of evil, the basis of the belief system. So it's no wonder at all that the world is in the shape it's in. But it's also more important. It's most important now to recognize God's world, because the evil world is standing on God's world. Without God's world, there could be no evil world. And all the forces of that world that is shown to us and tries to hide God's world cannot stand without the presence of God's world. So all we need to do is change our focus, and then the world that's standing upon it is actually only can exist in imagination, in the imagination. Fear is not based on the design of our being. When we fear and worry, these things are not based upon our relationship with God. They say fear of God is this is a great example of the influence of evil on religion. Fear of God is the beginning of life or faith, or I don't even know the phrase. I don't memorize it because it makes no sense. It's absolutely ridiculous. But that is the devil's plan: is to take the best people, the people that would believe they are following the Most High, and then blind them, saying, we are sinners. Which means we have no relationship with God. If that's not the most obvious deceit and massive plan to ruin God's family and God's children, it really is. So the direct dominion will liberate us from all that. We are not separated from God. As a matter of fact, we are one with God, because our thinking determines it. Our thinking, it's not what you've done, it's what you're doing now that establishes what we are now, the value of our existence. Reverend Moon would agree with that, and many people in this world say that publicly. some people, one person, I don't remember who it is, but Reverend Moonbrook, I know who that is, that what our this moment establishes our value and our direction. So as we live for love, then we belong to God. We want to belong to God. We want to be owned by God, I think. I want to be owned by my spouse, by God, and by my spouse, and by my children, and by my my ancestors, and my descendants. Because as a person of service, in other words, we live for the sake of others, we serve people, and notice all things that is in this world. They always say, "Oh, it's for your protection, it's for your safety, and that we're serving you." Is because there's no other way to enter a person's logical mind except from the moral basis. That is why the evil always uses good morals as a two-dimensional thing in the front of their system, of their program, of their intentions to destroy mankind and destroy the earth. They always use good morals, a title of good morals. But when you listen to them, there's no meaning in their words. It's evil. How could I laugh? It's because it's the pain that has been caused by people's deceiving, by the devil, by evil, by the influence of evil on people, and people living from that influence. Okay, it's escaping. Anyway. We're centered on heaven and the direct dominion. Level 1. So we're finding out, number 1, the connections. Level 1 of the direct dominion is our connection to God and our children, all of our brothers and sisters and friends and families next to us on either side, and then our ancestors in front of us and our descendants behind us. And as we connect all those, centered on our connection to God, and Reverend Moon pointed out that when children are born, there's a soft spot it's called the fontanelle, I think, on the top of the head. So the top of the head is the connection to God. It's the last thing it becomes hard last. It's actually soft. The skull is soft on the top when children are born. So anyway, it's a significant point because it's our connection to God it's the first. So actually, as we enter the physical realm from the spiritual realm, our spirit, when we breathe, our spirit enters us through our breathing. Our spiritual self, our spirit mind and spirit body are breathing, as our physical mind and physical body are breathing. And so as soon as we establish, because we have a connection to God, and we observe it and recognize it and understand it and are surrounded by people who understand it, then we exist in the direct dominion. So, and as we focus daily upon this, the world becomes anew. The world becomes anew. Okay. That's a good place let's listen to some music. Oh, I already have it. It's right on here. Hold on. Oh, ready?